All right, we got to talk about these glasses.
You don't even have to name them.
It's funny because there's a post in the MKBHD subreddit that it's like, finally, like something incredibly dramatic has happened right before they record on Wednesday. And it is Snapchat's unveiling of the new AR glasses. And of course, Evan, their CEO, is going around doing a bunch of interviews, like wearing the glasses. They've showed it to people. About 2 years ago, I think it was, we had the previous generation of their AR spectacles here, and they were massive and extremely first-gen feeling, but at least it worked and it was a proof of concept, and I could see the idea. Now, this new generation of them is $2,200. They're going to sell these. They are a little tiny bit smaller, but they still look quite large. Quite heavy.
Yeah. Do you want me to do specs first, and then we'll talk about the most fun part, which is what they look like? Yeah, let's spec the specs.
Spec the spec.
Okay, $2,195. Snap is calling them wearable computer built into see-through AR glasses. To give them credit, they are standalone. There's no puck. There's no wire.
Yeah.
You'll see where they fit all of it later.
Two Snapdragon chips.
Yep, 2 Snapdragon chips, 4 hours of battery, 20 including the case. Depending on the size, it's either 132 or 136 grams.
Yeah.
There's two sizes.
Yeah, I didn't really get what that meant. But
it's for people with smaller heads and people with bigger heads.
Yeah, I guess. There's an LED bar to show that they're recording. This has a 51-degree field of view, which the previous ones we did were 46. And man, I remember that feeling really limiting.
Yep.
So I'm glad it's higher, but that is not much higher.
Yeah.
5 degrees higher is not. The Meta Orions were 70 degrees, and that felt so much better.
Same with the X-Real Aura.
Are they?
70.
70.
72, I think. Yeah,
I do. Like the spec prototypes, we haven't used these new ones. I do think I remember the resolution being so much better than the Orions. But I would pick field of view over resolution any day because when I was wearing them, it just kept getting cut off. Like whole parts of the screen was just gone.
Yeah. I remember playing a golf game with them, and the whole idea of the golf game is like it overlays the golf hole and the world over your real world. But I would look down at the club and the ball, and then I would look up at the target, and I couldn't see them both at the same time. And then when I swing the club, I can't see the club anymore, so I only see the ball. And it was very like segmenting. It just took me out of the immersion because of how compact the field of view is. It cut off really fast.
And then they're claiming it can show 16 million colors and go from clear to tinted.
Yeah.
Okay. Now who wants to talk about what they look like?
They look...
Prada.
Well, okay. There's two things about them that I think are weird. One is the size. Obviously, you're fitting a ton of compute in them, and to their credit, they have jammed a ton of compute in these things. But they have these really big, thick arms, big, thick rims, and even over behind the ear, there's extra weight sort of counterbalancing everything. So 130 grams is pretty heavy for something you're going to wear on your face that's supposed to feel clear. If it's a VR headset, maybe you're expecting, heavy, but the glasses are kind of heavy. The other thing, though, is every single one of these pictures I've seen, pictures and videos, I can't see quite through to his eyes very well. I don't know if it's the wave guides or if something about the glass that they're using, but it doesn't feel like I'm looking at someone wearing glasses. It feels like I'm looking at someone who's wearing, they might as well just be wearing a headset. I'm not making real eye contact. You know what I mean? This is from the pictures I'm seeing. Maybe there's just a ton of lights in the room.
There's video too. And
there's videos.
It cracks me up every time I see him turn his head around and smile. And
they look like fogged over or something.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that I noticed that would turn me off from giving a chance. And obviously these are still super early, and the devil's advocate for these is, well, at some point they're going to be really good, and then we'll all want these because they'll be really nice, and this is just the early adopter version. To which I say, yes, this is the really, really early adopter.
From a company that doesn't really have any usable applications for day-to-day use. That's what seems very confusing to me about this, is that Evans positions them as a wearable computer to do what exactly in Snapchat? Like Snapchat's UI and AR and whatever.
Right.
They don't have applications like Apple has with the Vision. Not even Apple has with the Vision Pro, which Apple doesn't really have that many applications for the Vision Pro, but at least you can use Safari and you can use
ones.
Messages.
Got a YouTube app now.
There's a YouTube app now. You can watch movies. There's a little utility to the Vision Pro. What do you actually do in these besides Snapchat?
Yeah,
That's my question.
From what I remember, I mean, there's a bunch of these. There's lenses, and there's a bunch of. It felt like applications, and I'm not remembering everything. I'll have to go back and watch my own video just to refresh my memory. But there were some apps, and there are some developers who are making things that work with these glasses. But it wasn't in the name of productivity. Usually, it was typically just like,
Games.
here's a thing that we built that takes advantage of AR. So, like, my computer screen's not in there. My documents aren't in there. My browsers and YouTube videos are not in there, but it's just a couple experiences.
This is kind of analogous to the Windows Phone, because if there's no developers making actual things that people use every day and like porting their stuff to it, what do you do with it?
It's a confusing thing because he says there's 450,000 developers creating for Snap AR, but like that obviously is including the Snapchat AR that they've had for years. So like, I don't think I need a pair of glasses that are going to play the dancing hot dog guy out in a 50-degree field of vision.
This is the primary use case of the glasses.
I'm sure there is more. I'm sure there's some stuff, but none of that can get past. I think calling it thick is an understatement. They're like, if you took glasses and made them bold and then still 1.5x them, like they just do not fit on his head. His ears are absolutely crushed. There's an interview of him on CNBC that is brutal, and he literally looks like he's like moving down his head like throughout the whole thing. And I honestly think it's because of the weight of the glasses. They stick out like 4 inches past your ear with these big, I mean, it's cool that they fit all that. I know that it's a huge tech advancement for where it is. But 2 years ago, these were really cool because it was a prototype that we could see where they're going. Now it's a $2,200 thing that a person can buy, and it's going to get made fun of because of that.
Yeah, I think that it's cool that they were able to pack that much technology into the glasses. And if you were to compare these to like an actual wearable computer, like a Vision Pro, and you said, oh, we basically packed most of the Vision Pro's technology into thick, arguably very thick glasses, it's still like shrinking down the tech by a lot.
Sure. That's what I was gonna say. Is like there are two ways to look at this like dimensions, and one of them makes them look really impressive and the other makes them look really bad. The really impressive one is, okay, these glasses are 130 something grams and a Vision Pro is 700 or 800 grams, and this doesn't have a puck. This has all the compute, all the sensors, all the chips, all the batteries, everything all built in at 130 grams. That's actually very kind
impressive.
Of insane.
It is
really impressive technical feat. The other angle is Ray-Ban Metas with the cameras in them and the batteries and the compute for that are, according to Google, about 50 grams. So you're wearing, and the X-Reels, which I just showed you, which feel too heavy. They're a little bit front heavy, but I wouldn't want to wear them all day.
No.
And they have the electrochromic glass and the tint and everything. Those were in the 90 gram range. So these being 130 is... but not an all-day product. The X-Reel and the Meta use your phone, and they have a separate compute. Exactly.
Which, in my opinion, is better. But that's just
using your phone or not using.
Using your phone.
I will. I mean, it's cool that they can do it. Using your phone, I don't think is that big of a deal because we have it. The tether, not having that is huge. I totally agree. But by saying like these all compute by themselves and these don't have a tether or they don't have a puck, they still have to be glasses at the end of the day, and they just look so uncomfortable. No part of him wearing that in any of those interviews does he look like he's having a good time with them.
I don't know who it was. Someone sent a picture of Danny DeVito, and they really they missed out on having him wear the glasses.
I think, the closest thing to this is like HoloLens, right? Because it's a standalone device that you wear when you want to do certain tasks, but it's not necessarily like they're kind of angling them as a thing that you just wear every day. And
yes,
I think that's the mistake.
That's the mistake.
Yeah.
I have a quote from him. He says, during that CNBC interview, he says, the goal for these are to bring computing into the world and make it more human. I think it's something people are really looking for, where screens are distracting them and people are spending more than 7 hours a day staring at a screen and instead of spending time with their friends. He's saying that with two giant screens glued to his eyeballs where the interviewer can't even see his eyes.
That would have hit so much harder if the glasses were clear.
I know, it feels like more of separation because now I just can't see your eyes. I don't know if you're looking at something. Also, you can't spend 7 hours a day staring at them because it has a 4-hour battery life. So like, I don't know.
Is it 4 hours or 2 hours?
It's 4 hours for now.
4 hours, okay.
4 hours.
Yeah, and he wants you to spend 14 hours a day staring into the screens. So
okay, I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I think these are dope because they are specifically an Apple Vision Pro alternative. I don't see them as a Meta glasses alternative. Like, I'm not expecting anyone to wear these walking around all day. These are developers that are building the future of AR, just like Apple Vision Pro, no matter what Apple wants to say.
Yeah.
Regular people aren't using that. That's for developers building the future of AR.
I agree with you.
And that's kind of how I view these.
It's just not how they position them.
It's
exactly.
not, yeah.
Their positioning
The
is where they
positioning's
messed up.
really bad.
Yeah, so I remember years ago, way back at the beginning of this AR XR thing, we talked about the spectrum of like on one side of the spectrum there's VR headsets where you're obviously not going to walk around in them. They're an opaque thing with like pass-through cameras, and you put it on, you're fully immersed, and they're heavy, and you watch a movie in it for an hour or whatever, wear it for work. That's one side of the spectrum. And on the complete other side of the spectrum is glasses with a tiny bit of tech in them. Maybe a camera and a speaker and a battery and some compute.
Like mono screen.
And they're transparent. There's no screen. The like absolute basic, total other side of the spectrum. Those you can actually see people putting on and wearing for half a day, an entire day. And then companies, in order to get to this future of like, you know, the future of AR computing, have to decide which part they want to start with to get to the future. Mm-hmm. And I think if you position yourself in the wrong way, you're kind of doomed and you have to start over. So Vision Pro is where Apple chose to start. They're going to eventually do glasses someday, we all suspect. These are kind of like, I mean, he's wearing them as if they're supposed to be regular glasses. He's having conversations with people. He's doing interviews with people wearing the glasses as if they're not like if this was a Vision Pro, you'd be like, what are you doing? So they're positioning them very clearly as a thing that you can wear and walk around and live your life because it's glass and it's AR and they're the world around you. But then they look like just a little too much for that.
Yeah.
So
way too much.
They're kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
They're in the middle, which is like where they want to land. It's very clear. In his interview, he said like that, almost that exact same thing. We want to be in the middle. I think the problem is when you have to describe things as wear them like glasses instead of wearing them as glasses because that's what they are. Yeah. It's just proof that none of us are looking at this and thinking this is a pair of glasses.
I guess my question is, as a regular consumer, is why do they need to announce this like very publicly? Could this not just be an email within like a community space for the targeted audience?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That again, with their positioning problem, they're saying we're going to sell these to consumers, which is just a bad move. Like the HoloLens was always for enterprise and enterprise only. Mm-hmm. And selling these direct to consumer and going on CNBC and be like, look at our big consumer. Like, what are you doing? Consumers are not going to buy this.
$2,200 implies a lot of tech and a lot of functionality and usefulness. And I tweeted this like, there are actually two things you have to overcome. You have to overcome the price and how dorky they look. If there are some amazing utilities or some incredible functionality or productivity things that it does, that makes you want to do that, then you're willing to go, okay, I know it looks like ridiculous, but look at this amazing functionality. Mm-hmm. Same with the price. I know it's $2,000, but like I don't have to use a MacBook Pro anymore. It's $2,000. I don't see that with these, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe there's some development happening. Maybe there's some amazing apps that I haven't seen with these spectacles yet, but I think that's what it needs to overcome how ridiculously bad they look and how expensive they are.
Yeah, we don't really even know anything about the app ecosystem or functionality yet. So
waiting to see that.
We'll see that. Hopefully they send us a pair so we can look stupid for a while.
I'm sure they'll love to after they hear this, what we just said about it.
At a different place in this world, we still have Xreal's AR glasses they just launched, which are running Android XR. So we know the ecosystem. It's the Play Store. So it's whatever you want to do in the Play Store and all the stuff that's optimized for Android XR. That's actually pretty interesting now. Like Google Maps has this cool optimized Android XR version. You can fly down into Street View and look around and pinch and zoom and walk around. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I did some of this. I covered these actually on the latest Dope Tech episode. So if you want to watch that, there's about 2 or 3 minutes in there about these. Again, 90 grams, 70 something degree field of view, micro OLED displays. It looks pretty good. They're high resolution. And I think my favorite feature is you can like soft body lock a video in the corner of your vision with you and walk around with it. So instead of like having to pinch and hold and walk around carrying the video, you can like watch Waveform in the corner of your vision while you actually wash dishes because you're just looking through glass.
Which is exactly how I watch it anyway when I'm doing dishes.
It's perfect.
It's right next to the sink.
Yeah.
That's such a simple thing. Like so many of VR, AR is like, how do you pin things to a spatial place that's in your actual environment? And this is just like, no, just put it in my corner and then it stays with me and I can see it.
I don't need to move it around.
Yeah, exactly. Which the Xreals were cool because They can do pinning to different places in the environment. Like, it was a really neat, I still want to call it a demo of what Android XR was, because these glasses I also don't think are things you're walking around with every day.
No, yeah.
They look very similar to some previous X Reels where even though the shape is smaller and the weight is lighter, it still just fits really strangely off the front of your face because it has to fit those windows in there.
I've always thought of these as closer to a VR headset, even though they don't look like it. They're very much like a put a screen on your face type of thing.
Sit down at a desk, an airplane, a train. Get yourself a private, larger screen.
They're nice on a plane. Yeah, I think they'd be nice on a plane.
Wasn't the previous version the one Ellis was like fully locked in?
Yeah,
like
because they're plug and play.
A few of these.
Yeah. It might have been those or Nreal or something like that, but a lot of them are saying where like they're plug and play.
Just X-Rail, but they changed the name.
Yeah.
So when we were using Nreal, it was actually for the third person video that we did.
Right.
I think Ellis is more locked into the Meta Quest Pro for a while, but the Nreal ones were very awesome because like they were super plug and play. You just plugged your phone in and it's there.
Yeah.
The whole puck thing that just looks like a phone, including it essentially has a like hole punch cutout on the front, was just very funny to me.
Yeah,
it's
and then
cool.
you can
That's a touch screen.
You can plug that plug into something else, like your phone, or actually even better, what I did was plug it into my laptop, so that my laptop screen became one of the things in the virtual space.
That's cool.
So that was
I'll try that.
A legitimately interesting, like 80% of the stuff that I would do with this is just being on a plane. Like I want to go on a plane and I have to edit a video that's embargoed, so nobody around me on the plane can see it. So I would just plug it into these. The screen would go black here, and it would just show up in my glasses, and I could edit the video on the plane.
That's smart.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I still wonder about the utility of these things. I guess for that, it makes sense because
we're watching a movie.
Information.
We didn't have a price on these yet, right?
No, but they promised me that they would be under the price of the full Galaxy XR headset, which makes sense.
Okay.
Because that's like $1,800.
So.
That's like $2,000.
Well, that's already cheaper than the Snap, the spectacles. So the Galaxy XR is $1,800, I think. So this is ideally
people really need to
$17.99.
people need to get that utility curve up there. Like they need to figure out the utility real hard because putting these things on your face has a very high goofiness scale.
It is. I do like the electrochromatic tint because the old Nreals we used to had just came with a cover that you put over top of the glass to get the faded black background so everything popped more.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. If you're watching this on mobile, you can see below that there's no way to know how many subscribers that we have. I think the only way to find out is to hit the subscribe button, and then you'll know that there's at least one subscriber.
30 million, though. We have 30 million.
Yeah.